Hey, we're talking about random collections up next on Geek Gotta Say.
Do not attempt to adjust your YouTube video. We control the stream.
And welcome back to Geek Gotta Say. It's Saturday and we're having fun.
So I messed up, Vince messed up. It was really great. I thought he was watching, so I signal him from over here and I do the whole like 3, 2, 1, go. And then I switch it from the starting soon to like him. Mm-hmm. But I'm supposed to just be on just Vince so that he's like doing the intro because the camera's like tight on him. But right above the Just Vince is the Vince camera, which is what you're watching right now.
Yeah.
So I clicked on that on accident. Then I clicked over really quick and realized that he hadn't seen the 3, 2, 1. So then I'm like waving my arms like this, and then he's like, "Oh crap!" You know what? Sometimes your wires are crossed. It's fine, but we're here now.
We're in now. And we're talking about random collections. Over the years, we've talked about our collections, but like about my Superman collection and, about our Star Wars collection.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can kind of see behind me, like some of the collection. This is all my stuff. I can't point behind me. This is all my stuff. But then on the back wall over there is all Star Wars stuff. This like whole room is Star Wars. And then in that room over there, because we have another room over there, it's Ninja Turtles and Superman stuff. And then Vince has stuff over on this side.
Yeah.
Maybe we should probably do a video where
It's the Superman green room.
Yeah. I think maybe we just need to
We'll
do
call
a
it the
video where
Kryptonite
we
room.
show everything. The Kryptonite room. Yeah. So I guess we should probably do a new video for everybody to see kind of what all we have in here in the studio area. But so those are our normal geeky collections, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
Like, Star Wars, Ninja Turtles. We have a few Marvel things, not a whole lot.
Right. And like I've always said, there's more than just like geeky, nerdy stuff out there. You can geek out about just about anything. Mm-hmm. And we do have even though some of the things can be on the geeky side, they're not necessarily considered geek in certain situations.
Yeah.
That's pretty geeky.
Tentacle Kitty is pretty geeky.
Yeah, Tentacle Kitty.
I mean, I just have stuff even randomly around me.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Bop It Grogu, and then I have this.
Like I have a whole collection of like domos.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
I was going to take a picture of those, and I forgot. Yeah, you totally have, but it's like a collection of domos, but it's like a small collection, which I think is what I'm thinking of, like our random collections. Because if you look at our Star Wars collection, it's like a collection. You know what I mean? It's like a massive collection. If you look at like my Ninja Turtle collection is a massive collection, right? I have like almost every Strawberry Shortcake doll from the 80s. Like I'm a huge Disney geek. I have like a whole room dedicated
To Disney.
to my Disney stuff. So we have extremely large collections of things. And then we have these little random side collections, like the Domo. So it's just like a fuzzy Domo hat, some little tiny Domo like figures, and then like 3 different sizes of Domo like plushy kind of things.
Right.
Yeah. And so that's his little kind of Domo corner in the room. But we have even more random stuff that, like you said, people wouldn't necessarily think of as geeky or might not even think of them as collectibles, so to speak.
Right. Well, like one of the first things that I started collecting, and this was kind of because I was into Magic at the time, not Magic the Gathering. That was cool and all, but that's not, I'm talking about like card magic.
Yeah, Vincent does close-up card magic.
So I started collecting specifically bicycle decks and a couple other, like, you know,
Niche-y.
yeah.
Like, is that watermelon deck that's
The watermelon deck is not.
not a bicycle?
No.
So I put the queue up so people can see some of your collection. Let me just say that there's 35 cards in these two that you can see. And we have 3 more on the way.
Yeah.
And that's probably not going to hold the ones that he has that are just like the 97 different colors of the standard backs.
Right.
That's just like the specialty stuff. And because he has so many, there's all this new line of Disney. He kept some of the Disney, but a bunch of the Disney he gave to me for my Disney room because he's got so many, and we live in the same house, so
Yeah, I get to see him.
Like, it's not that big of a deal. But it amazed me.
But it amazes
how many
me.
different,
Yeah, but it also amazed me of the price of these cards have gone up so much for brand new bicycle cards. Of course, a lot of it you're paying for the art, but for the most of the part, it's just the back.
Right. A lot of them.
The really good ones, it's the whole deck. Is good.
Some of the really, really good ones, even I've seen, like, because you kind of have different, like, there's different art, right? So the backs for sure. Like, if you're looking at the cards, you'll see the backs and you'll see, okay, the backs have a certain kind of art on it, right? And then you open them up, and some of them, the Jack, Queen, and the King, have the art style, but like on the face cards, basically, and the Joker, obviously. The really, really good ones, the suits are also like different things as well. The like medium ones, I would say the backs and the face cards, but then the suits are just the normal suits. And then I would guess the lowest ones or whatever, or where the backs are the only things that are, for me, when I look at your collection, I'm like, oh, well, that one is really good art, but it's just the backs.
Yeah.
Like, that one's pretty good. Like, I really kind of like it. It's the back and it's the face cards. And then the last one, I'm like, oh my God, like, that's incredible. Like, they did this crazy job because they went and did every suit, like, changed it up a little bit.
And there's also one deck that, like, only, like, maybe 3 people have.
Well, what's that one?
That's the deck that I made. The bicycle deck that I made.
It's a Pincha Games?
Pincha Games
deck.
Yeah.
So can you still do that? Do you know if you can make?
Yeah.
You can customize and make your own bicycle
still.
deck. That's fun. That's a fun thing. So then if you do have a collection of something like that, and you can kind of go make your individual one. Like, I know Funko does that now for pops, right?
Yeah.
You can go pop yourself or whatever and make a Funko pop. I made one for Vincent. Yeah, he's got one of himself. But I like that when you can go in and find them and kind of customize them yourself. So I think that's fun. So yeah, definitely Vincent has a few. And bless his heart, like, they used to be his whole collection, because we hadn't really found a good way
to display them.
Yeah, we had tried to get people to, like, make us a display, and we were trying to explain it to them, because not a lot of people understand the whole bicycle card thing, right? They're like, I don't understand. Like, what is this? Is it like Pokemon card? Like, you need like a shelf for all your Pokemon cards or what? We're like, no, it's like a deck of cards, like, and they're like you play poker with, and I'm like, okay, let's go with that. Yes, it's like that. And so we never could find anything, and then I saw something on Instagram where it was somebody and they had these shelves, and so I was like, oh, that's perfect, because beforehand, literally,
and you got it from like a magic site, right?
It's from a magic shop. Yeah. And literally he had, like, bless his heart, all of his decks were in, like a tub. But then, because all of his decks were in a tub and we hadn't inventoried them, and so when you have like 170 decks of cards,
well,
you can't remember which ones you have.
But part of that was also that I was getting double so I could open one.
Yeah.
Because some of the stuff was really cool, and I wanted to look at what they were.
So some of them he had in triplicate. Because he had the unopened one, the open one, and then another unopened one. So growing up in our household, of course, our oldest son experienced that, and we used to get them shaped cards when they were kids.
Right.
And he just loved those. He still looks for those to this day. So there was a whole pile of Vincent's like extras, and I took a picture of it and I sent it to him, and I was going to ask him like, do you want any of these? And he just texted me back, yes. I didn't even have a chance to text him any words. I just sent the picture and he was like, yes. So Vincent has definitely trickled that down.
And it's crazy because that is a lot of money. Because some of those decks are like, some of them are like $15
Yeah, the Disney ones
for
are,
one deck.
the Disney ones are $15 per deck.
Some of the other ones are like $11.99.
The ones that have like
$10.99.
more of a like foily kind of look to them, those are $15 a deck. Yeah, and then the other ones are like $10 a deck. So yeah, it's a pretty big investment for the amount of cards that Vincent has.
Like the regular ones that I did for Magic, I would just buy the rider backs, and then I would just have a lot of those because you burn a lot of them.
But he got a new one from Amazon recently, and he was like, "Ooh, this one's gonna be good for Magic."
Yeah,
The Christmas tree one.
yeah.
He was all excited about those. So yeah, I mean, so that's one of our random collections. You want me to talk about one of mine? Okay. I'm trying to remember what order I have these queue ups in. I have 9 million collections as well. So I think the next queue up I have is my comic book, but it's not comic books like you would think of comic books. But we're of the generation that we still used to get the Sunday paper, and in the Sunday paper there was a comic section. It was a couple of pages, and you would open it up, and it was comic strips. So I really love these old comic strips. Calvin and Hobbes, Bloom County, Get Fuzzy, Family Circus, like things like that. And even you can see like my Archie, and you can see my Calvin and Hobbes and stuff. There's more shelves of him. And again, it's not hundreds and hundreds. Like I have a couple of pretty good shelves, which is, but it's just random. Like I was like, oh, I liked this comic, and I have a lot of the Calvin and Hobbes. Calvin and Hobbes is one of my absolute favorites, so I have a lot of books of that. And then Archie, which there's a difference between Archie comics, because you can get an Archie comic book, and I have a lot of those that are in my like comic book box. But these are the ones that you see like at Walmart, at Target, at H-E-B. It's like when you go by and there's all the magazines and stuff, and there's the little Archies. Those are the ones that I like because they're in that comic strip kind of format.
Right.
So, and this is another one, like I've taken them to my classroom. Our sons have grown up reading them. And so it's nice to kind of share that type of media with other generations, because they didn't necessarily grow up, having that come to them and to see it. A lot of my students who read comic books are actually reading them online nowadays. So they're getting kind of that. And there's some that are kind of like that Sunday morning cartoon kind of version of things that I like. And they run them online. And so you can see them online. So you don't get the Sunday paper anymore. But Vincent's old enough that, Vincent and I are both old enough. Do you remember doing the silly putty?
Yeah. Yeah, that was really cool.
So explain it to everybody.
So silly putty, you would take that and you could you can flatten it out, and then you plop it on, like, you could put it on whatever on the newspaper and it'll do it, but we put it on the comic strip, and then we could pick it up, and it was like a reverse image on the silly putty.
Yeah, it was like so much fun. I don't know why we
pull
thought that was
the color and the ink out of it.
Yeah, I don't know why we thought that was the greatest thing ever, but we just thought that was the most spectacular thing. And especially if you got like a perfect one, right? If you laid it on there and you could peel it up just right and it was like the perfect image, then you were like real proud of yourself. You're like, yeah, my God. So I think that some of that is just because I like that media. Some of it reminds me of childhood or whatever.
Right.
So that is definitely one of my more random collections that I don't think people would never necessarily think of when you say comic book collection. So that's one of the collections I have that's kind of random. So, yeah. What else, Vince? Your media is one.
My DVDs and Blu-rays. So I mean that was the thing back in our day, but it started even before that. We did that with VHS.
Well, and I still have my Disney VHS because they kind of look like book covers. And so I kept all of those, and I haven't looked them up, but supposedly some of them go for a pretty decent amount of money.
Yeah.
But it's funny, we have this huge collection. Nope, that ain't it. We have this huge collection. This is that you're seeing on here is about a fourth of what you can see. And I've decorated it with, again, some random things that we've gotten. So you'll see like our Harry Potter movies are all together, and there's like a Harry Potter pop fig. The Ghostbusters movies are all together, so you see the Stay Puft Marshmallow guy. You know, our Marvel movies, and so you see the Marvel. So I tried to kind of decorate in between. Because I'll say this collection, even though you're only seeing a part of it and there's still like 4 rows of it, that collection is after I had him take 2 boxes of DVDs to Half Price Books.
Yeah.
Because I was like, we need to just, like, if we're going to collect a few more Blu-rays that we really like, we've got to get rid of some of these because we are out of space.
Well, but that was because we bought the Blu-ray of it, or we had doubles.
Yeah.
And that was extra.
Yeah. Well, and there was a few that I was like, come on, dude, we haven't watched these in like The Men Who Stare at Goats. I was like, you know, it's not like we watched it enough. Because at first, it's just like you don't have streaming services, right? So you're buying them to have them in your library. And then streaming services come along. But then some of them you can't get on a streaming service.
Right.
Like, people are going to think I'm such a dork. I am such a dork. Okay. Every year on the 4th of July, I make Vincent watch Independence Day. So we didn't have it. I thought we had it. We didn't have it. So we were trying to find it. Well, they don't have it.
We did have it.
But I don't know what.
We lent it out and
Yeah,
it never got back to us.
So then we're like, okay, well, we'll find it streaming somewhere. Like, it's an old movie. They've got to be streaming it, right? No, you have to rent it. Okay, I'm like, please. And it's like $4 to rent. Let me rent it. And he's like, okay, fine, we'll rent it. And then he found it on Amazon or something. It was like $4 for the DVD. So got me the DVD so we can watch it every year. But it's funny that that's something that you really like because it's like retro, right? Especially the DVDs and the VHS. They're like retro. So I've started some of my seniors watching like some of these old movies like Breakfast Club, Dead Poets Society, like stuff like that. And they've been going out and buying the DVDs and the VHS because they want to like start a collection of physical media.
Yeah.
And some of it, like you would think, like I said, these older movies, that you could just find it on a streaming service because it's like, you can only get it to rent. Yeah. So they're like, well, shoot, I can go
like Independence Day, you're not going to find anywhere for free to stream because they want people to buy it.
Well, I think like Dead Poet Society and like Goodwill Hunting and like some of those other ones, they were like, we can't find them anywhere. But go to Half Price Books and I can buy it for $1 or $2. And then I have this kind of cool collection of this old media that to them is so retro, right?
It's so retro. And I'm just like, this is the awesome technology when we got it.
I mean, can you remember like going from VHS to DVD?
Yeah.
You know what's the only like movie media we don't have? Laser disc, right? Did you ever have any kind of laser disc?
Never had a laser disc. We had one at school, in high school. That was the first time I've ever seen one. And but even that compared to even DVDs, DVDs were better.
Yeah, I don't remember Laserdisc being around for very long. I think
No,
I
it
knew
was too expensive.
I knew one person, like the whole time I was growing up, one person out of all the people I knew that had Laserdisc. And I don't think they put out a lot of media on Laserdisc. So it didn't end up being something that was worth even having because you couldn't get it. But yeah, like they talk about, Blockbuster.
But Sony was the one that came out with the CDs first, and that's why they went to the DVDs. It was CDs and then DVDs.
And then DVDs, yeah.
And that format is always been Sony's. Was the one pioneering that.
I still remember when you could go to Blockbuster and you could still pick either VHS or DVD. It was like still people were still kind of transitioning over. So,
and then it switched over to just DVD and Blu-ray.
And Blu-ray, yeah, and it was a little more expensive if you wanted the Blu-ray. My kids that are seniors,
you could even rent games at Blockbuster.
Yeah. My kids that are seniors think that they remember Blockbuster from like when they were little. But I don't know if it died before that. Like they're between 17 and 19. So I'd have to look that up because I was like, do you really remember Blockbuster? I'm not so sure about that.
I don't know. Is that one store still around?
I think so. That one store, yeah, is still around. But it's basically somebody's house that they like use as a store or whatever.
No, it's a real store.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was somebody's like house that they had turned into.
No, it's a real store.
It's a real store.
It's just been. I don't know. I think it's in like
Alaska or Washington
Seattle
State or something. Yeah,
something close to
something
Seattle
like,
or something
up there.
Oregon.
So Vincent has another super random collection that I don't even know if people will recognize what these things are. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, no, that's not it. This is it. They're called Crazy Bones. They're these little tiny figures. Mm-hmm. And they're tiny, tiny.
Yeah.
And they have all these different weird, I guess because Vincent's like the alien. I don't know, what attracted you to these little weird things?
Oh, they were just cool little mystery boxes. Because you got them out of mystery boxes.
Did you?
Yeah.
I can't even remember. I remember you had these.
And that's not all of them.
No, he has 2 shelves of those. And then you used to have the homies.
The homies, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to the homies. They just kind of disappeared one day.
Yeah, I didn't have very many.
But you had a lot of these. Like you were collecting them pretty good there for a while. And then I don't know what happened. You just got tired of them, or?
Yeah, and I don't think they make them anymore much.
I don't know. I'd have to look them up and see, because I don't think they were from here in the U.S. But it was those and the Garbage Pail Kids for a while, and then you kind of got over the Garbage Pail Kids too.
Oh, like, the remake.
Yeah,
of
the
them?
remakes of them.
Because those were hard to keep because they were stickers. Mm-hmm. And you could like put them places, but then they're kind of like used up, and you don't really want to keep what was left over.
Well, that was another thing that you got the kids started on. Like you gave them those, and so in one of the bedrooms, like the whole door was just Garbage Pail Kids, and then a few other like Jurassic Park stickers or something like. But they loved all the Garbage Pail Kids. They just got tickled by that, and so. But yeah, I don't even remember what got you started on those Crazy Bones, because there was a bunch of little weird stuff around that time.
They were one of the first mystery boxes that I ever got, I think.
Maybe. Because it was them, it was the homies, it was those little jumpy bean things that
the homies you would get out of like a...
Yeah, out of the vending machine kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
But there was several things like in that time period. It was like early 2000s, right? Mm-hmm. Where it was just a bunch of these little things. I wonder if that was when micro machines came out. There was like a fascination for a while of like really weird, random little things that you could get. Probably trying to put less plastic and get parents to spend more money. You know, who knows what the thing was behind that. But yeah, I mean, you know, and sometimes we collect things and they go by the wayside. Like the home, they just kind of disappear, right? And you don't think about them anywhere. And so the Crazy Bones, Vincent had a box of them, and then I was like, well, you know, we have room. We have, I can buy some little shelves now on Amazon. I think Amazon has made things a lot easier too, because you can just buy like you need a little shelf, you just buy a couple of little shelves and put your little collection up there. That's a cute little thing in your room, you know. So I think that has made it a lot easier. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I think when a collection's in a box, it's pretty easy to be like, well,
you forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you forget about it and you don't really look at it until you're like, oh, this is in the way. Oh, I haven't seen these in 2 years.
Yeah. 10 years. And then you're like, do I really? And then you're kind of like, okay, well, they've been in a box this long. Do I really want them? Do I really care about them? But sometimes we just like them to kind of fill out our collections.
Right.
You know, it's like, well, I really like these. They're kind of different from something else I had. And so, yeah, I'll put it out there. So I have a collection. Let's see if I remember the right cue up this time.
A collection?
Oh, very funny. So I have a collection that I think people wouldn't expect me to have. And this is very niche of something that a lot of people have a big collection of. So a lot of people have big Barbie collections. Barbie is a big collectible. Some of those original Barbies go for thousands of dollars, right? The one that's in from the 1950s, like the original one or whatever, with her black and white swimsuit. And I'm not that kid who grew up playing Barbies. I wasn't that kid. I didn't even have Barbies growing up. But about, 6 years ago, maybe? I don't remember exactly. I think about 6 years ago, they started putting out Dia de los Muertos Barbies.
Right.
And so they're painted with the sugar skull face and everything, and they have the dresses. And when they first came out, the dresses are like embroidered and everything.
Right.
Very intricate. They're still really nice today, but they don't have quite as much intricacy.
Because there's a lot more money to do that.
And then 2 years ago, because it used to just be Barbie.
Yeah.
And then 2 years ago, they added Ken. And he has his sombrero and everything. And so.
But you only have one of the Kens, though, right?
I just have one of the Kens, yeah. Wasn't as interested, but I liked that he was different. Like, when he came out, he was new.
Yeah.
And I think the other reason why I only have one of the Kens is because, again, we're talking about something that is not cheap to collect.
Right.
When they first come out, they're $80.
Right.
When they first come out. So I got the third year I started collecting them. $80, $80, $80. Vincent's mom got me Frida Kahlo. $80. It's great. So I don't have year 1 and year 2. Well, then we happened to find a year 2 one somewhere.
Yeah.
And she wasn't very much. I think she was like 85 or something. It wasn't very much. So I was like, okay, sweet. So now I have, year 2 or whatever. So then I'm like, I need year 1. So year 1 is like full embroidered dress. Like, she's it, right? She's it. So I've been wanting this Barbie. Which is very random of me. I'm wanting this Barbie. I want this Barbie, right? So we do this thing now where it's like you make your Amazon wish list and then you share it with your family for Christmas, right? So I'm putting like jammies on there and like, some normal collectibles and stuff that I like. I see this Barbie. Number one, she's $300. She's $300. And I'm like, I'm just going to put her on there for fun. You know, I'm just going to put her out there for fun. Then somebody, tell the rest of the story.
So I'm looking at it just like, it's got to be somewhere else cheaper than this. So I ended up finding it.
No, wait. First, you got to tell part one of the story. Oh, it's got to be somewhere cheaper than this, so...
Oh, the first time I tried to do it. So it's got to be somewhere cheaper than this. So I found it on some random site, ordered it, ended up getting some itty bitty little, not even Barbie, not even a miniature Barbie.
Not even a miniature Barbie, just the ugliest little dolls, like arms pop off, like the ugliest things you've ever seen in your entire life. And he's like, here, I got you your Barbie. And then he's like, sorry.
I ended up disputing it, and they just returned the money for it, and they said, don't even send it back.
Yeah. So that was the
wasn't what I asked.
It was funny. Like now
Yeah.
we can look back and it was funny. You know, we were disappointed at first. So second attempt, now he's looking for it at a more reasonable than $300 price.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So I see it on there, and I was like, it's got to be less than that somewhere. Let me check on eBay. So I ended up finding it in Canada, and a lot less than $300. So I went ahead and ordered it. I was like crossing my fingers, hoping it was like a real thing.
A real Barbie.
And it came in, and I had it here, like under the desk for the longest time. For the longest time. This has been ordered for a long time.
And then pulls the whole, and I should have known. I'm so dumb. I should have known. Because then he pulls the whole, like we're talking about each other's Amazon list, because he hardly has anything, and everybody's bugging me, right? And he's like, oh, well, I guess I need to find something like a $300 Barbie to put on my list that nobody's going to be able to get for me. I should have known right then. I should have known right then. But I'm like, oh, okay, I just put it on there as a joke. Like, I know nobody's going to spend $300 on a Barbie for me.
And I didn't.
And he didn't. And he didn't. But he did get me the Barbie. And so, and then Christmas morning, I open it up and I, like, scream because he doesn't, I don't even know if you realized, but it's in the original, like, Mattel, like, Barbie's in her Barbie box, and then she's in the individually packaged, like, Mattel boxes that they come in. Like, she is mint, dude. She is mint. And I was like, yes, yes. And everybody in the room is like, what did she get? And of course, then you pull out a Barbie, and they're like, oh, that's cool. Like I'm all screaming about this, and they're like, yeah, it's good. Okay, I'm about to run out of batteries. I can see it. It's blinking. I'm starting to learn things about this. So just talk with your hands a lot, and let me change these out real fast.
And we're back.
Have you ever noticed
Hopefully.
how when you get like nervous about something, it takes you a lot longer to do it than it would normally? I was like trying to put it in, and I was like, that battery's upside down. Oh, shoot. Oh, and then Anakin's like, Mommy, what are you doing, Mommy? What are you doing, Mommy? Oh, no kisses on your face. Okay, get down. It's not your show. It's not your show. It's not your show. Okay. Oh, oh.
Anakin needs a show.
Annie, get down, Annie. It's okay. It's
He
okay.
wants his own show.
So there's one more random collection that we're going to talk about tonight. And this, I don't know if you would consider it a random collection, because there are a lot of people that are sneakerheads.
Mm-hmm.
I would say a lot of the sneakerheads are more like the Nike, like the Jordans. You know, those people are real sneakerheads. And they totally geek out about those, and they get custom ones and stuff like that. But I think the collection that we have, I think there are sneakerheads that have this collection as well. Would you say? Probably. Are there Converse sneakerheads?
Not as many.
Not as many. So this is hanging on the back of the closet. We each have a walk-in closet. This is 12 pair of Converse. This is not any of the character Converse we have.
Right.
So we have, I think I counted them the other day, and we have like 38 pair of Converse between the two of us.
And luckily we wear the same
We wear the
size.
same size, so we share them. The newest acquisition that Vincent got me is I have Optimus Prime Converse now. I have, Vincent has Superman. He has Justice League. I thought you had another, like, I can't remember now. You have some Andy Warhols. He has some really cool ones that, like, they have zippers on them, so you don't even have to tie them. You just put your foot in and zip it up.
But they're still in the Chuck style.
Yeah.
Chuck Taylor style.
Yeah. I have some that are really cool that like look like totally emo, like grunge style, and those have like buckles on them, and they have the big old thick sole and stuff. What else have we got? I have some that lace up the front and they lace up the back. We have some that have bling on them. Trying to remember. Oh, he has leather ones.
Yeah.
That's a lot. We have a lot. We could probably do a whole video just showing off all of the Converse that we have.
Right.
We have a ton of Converse. It's Converse and then New Balance.
Because we're old.
Because we're old. When the kids were growing up, it was Skechers because you could buy one, get one free back in the day on the Skechers. Man, it used to be like Vincent and I, we like to get stuff at the outlet malls, right? And so we're out there at the outlet mall, and it used to be they would have buy one, get one half off, and you could use it on the clearance.
Yeah.
So now they've gotten wise to all of us. And they're like, no, you can't use it on the clearance. It's only for the regularly priced stuff.
And you're like, drats.
What?
And not just the regularly priced, the most expensive ones.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So
I'm like, well, meh, pass. It has to be like really fantastic for us to get it and be like.
But the entire thing of it is to get a deal on it.
Yeah.
I want to get it, but I want to get a deal on it.
And I think that's some of like what we choose to. Like, I didn't think about it until you just said it. But Vincent and I love a deal. Like, you don't even know how much we love a deal. Like, if we find something and we get a deal on it, we're going to start collecting it. No. Apparently. Well, no, but that's one of the things. And Stuart was our producer, and he passed away a couple of years ago. He was our age.
Has it been 2 years already? Gosh.
Really good friend of ours. And same as us, like loved the collecting, had like random collection. He had like a big arcade collection. He had like all kinds of arcade machines, and then he looked like Wolverine and he dressed up like Wolverine, so he had like a bunch of different Wolverine stuff and everything. So he understood the collecting. But one of the things that we talked about, that the three of us talked about, is there was something about the collecting when you had to go to the store.
Yeah.
And like be one of the first ones there to get whatever the special thing was, or stumble upon a store that nobody had thought to go to. Like, we used to be so excited when HEB Plus first opened.
Yeah.
Because people wouldn't think to go to the HEB Plus like toy section or whatever to get some of this stuff. And so we would be able to get it. Or we were getting like DVDs, or we would get Blu-rays, and you would go to HEB Plus and they would have like the special deal coupon.
Yeah.
So you would buy like popcorn, and then you would get the movie, and it would be like $10 off the movie or something like that. And so, you know, we would look, and then sometimes Best Buy would have the deal, and sometimes Walmart would have the deal, and you would have to like go to the different stores, find out what the deal was for the DVDs and stuff, and then go back to whatever store had the best deal and try to get it. You know, or you'd go to conventions when it wasn't like super duper, like totally drenched in conventions. You would go, or sometimes you would go to garage sales or flea markets and find stuff. And so, as much as I love Amazon, I think Amazon has taken some of that kind
They're
of,
taking the fun out of it.
yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
taken that away from us, right? To where we get to search. Because even our boys,
But you still get to. Some people get to do this. Like we saw this recently for Christmas. There were a couple of guys that were searching through Hot Wheels because I get my son's Hot Wheels, even though they're all almost over 30. I still get him Hot Wheels car every single year. So there was two men like searching through the bins, just looking for that diamond in the rough, for that ultimate
well, they
Hot
were
Wheels car.
they were telling me because one of the men was autistic, and he was saying that this was something that like was important to him, and he was looking for certain series of the cars, and so he enjoyed the looking.
Yeah.
He just liked like he wanted to go and look through all of them. He enjoyed like the tactile experience. He enjoyed looking at all the packages, and he said sometimes he would look at the packages and then see like like a design or something that he didn't think, that's not necessarily a series I would have wanted collect, but then he saw like a one-off or something like we do, something random, and then he was like, oh well, that doesn't really fit my collection, but I kind of really like it, so I'm going to get it for myself. Which is cool now that you say Hot Wheels, because that's another thing that Vincent's kind of added, like it's a collection within a collection, basically, is, I don't know if y'all know this, but they've put out a lot of like Star Wars Hot Wheels, like Super Mario Brothers Hot Wheels. They've got He-Man Hot Wheels. And so he has Hot Wheels that go with a bunch of our collections here, and they're just like kind of integrated into all the collections, you even have a spam mobile.
Yeah.
It's a spam.
But I got that one from where did I get that one from?
I don't remember. That
I have that
years and
one.
years
I
and
got
years.
the Wienermobile too.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, just a bunch of stuff. And then my other random thing, I didn't take a picture of it because it's another thing that's like out there in the universe of our house, in all different places. And this is pretty bad of me, and I'm just not going to even lie about it. When we go places, I take rocks. So I have rocks from all these different places. And a lot of them, it's so stupid because I take them from a place like as a memory of that place, but I don't mark like where they're from or whatever.
And it's just like a limestone or something like that. I was just like, but what's so great about that?
Some of them are nice. Some of them are really good rocks, but some of them are lame. But to me,
I was like, or they look like something, but the ones that she gets doesn't look like anything. It looks like a rock.
I don't know. Whenever I see them, at the moment, it's something that I'm like, yeah, that's a good rock. Like randomly walking, that's a good rock. I need that rock. So yeah, those are stuffed in shelves like all over the place. They're just like
even if they were like river rocks, I would understand that.
Don't make fun of my rocks, okay?
But no. Just an ordinary limestone rock that you found in a specific place.
Can't help it.
That doesn't even look like anything but a little rock.
So before we wrap it up, I just have one question for you. If you look at things like Funko Pops, right? Because there's so many genres within that. Would you say that a Funko Pop collector is like a random collector because they're randomly collecting like all these different genres, or are you a Funko Pop collector? You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
well, it depends. It just depends. Am I doing it to complete another collection? like I do with the Star Wars and the Hot Wheels, or am I doing it because I'm a Pops completist and I want to have every single Pop that's been out, which I don't. But there's some people that are that.
Yeah. Well, I think at this point there's so many Pops out you can't even be a Pop completist. I mean, you would have to have a whole warehouse.
I mean, they're out there because there's some that just come from the Comic-Cons.
Yeah.
Is only at that Comic-Con
Yeah.
can you get them.
But I think that's a niche part of, like, if you're just doing Comic-Con exclusive Pops. But I'm talking about, like, if you collected every Pop that was
The ones
ever,
that do that are the ones that collect them all.
every single Pop that's
Yeah.
ever come out. Because we have a lot of the Funko, but like you said, they're to, like, pad up our collections.
Yeah.
Like Vincent loves the Matrix. So I have a shelf that's like his 3 Matrix movies. He's got like a Matrix puzzle. He's got like a jointed Matrix figure. I can't remember who you have at this point. My brain is fried. And then he has the 2 Pops. And so it like
Right.
completes the. And then we have other random things like from going to cons and stuff, different cons, I have a bunch of Austin Powers figures. I have Mini-Me and I have Seth Green. It's funny. And then Vincent has Ren and Stimpy stuff. It's just like we have all this stuff and then random stuff. And then don't get started on our board games and video game paraphernalia. Basically, we collect, is what I'm trying to say.
Luckily, our arcade machine has almost all the arcade games.
So we only needed 1 of those.
So no, I really I enjoyed collecting things. If you have some collections, go ahead and list them down here, and we'll talk about it. Ask us about it, or ask us if we'll let you know if we have some stuff that we need to complete. But thanks for checking us out. I'm Vince.
And I'm Colleen.
Geek Out Essay.